What's up, you guys? I am back. And I'm here bringing you guys a new tutorial. It's about time. I've missed y'all so much. I hope y'all missed me too. This is my beautiful client. Of course, from the title, she has deep textured skin, so it was only right that I brought something that was really good, really detailed. So of course, jumping right into this, you guys already know that I always clean my client's face with witch hazel and a cotton round. It's like a ritual for me at this point. I'm always making sure I'm getting any type of moisturizer that my client may have previously put on, or makeup, leftover makeup, anything. I'm going to make sure I'm starting with a clean, fresh canvas. Skin prep is instrumental when it comes to makeup application. I will be moisturizing her face with the Embryolisse cream, as well as priming with Fenty Beauty Soft Filt'r Primer. And I'm applying this directly to her skin with a brush. I like to use a more fluffy, dense brush for the moisturizer and a flat brush for the primer. Now, jumping straight into brows, y'all already know I'm using the MAC Brow in the shade Onyx. This shade is beautiful for deep skin. It shows up so well, and you can also control the amount of product that you use. Of course, it's dependent upon your strokes, where it doesn't have to be too dark, but it could be a nice, beautiful shade on top of your client's brows. Soft strokes, ultra soft strokes as we head to the front of the brow. And then y'all already know what I always say, the darker the tail, the sharper the tail. So I like to have my tail just a little bit darker than the rest of the brow, just to make sure we emphasize on that arch and that sharp tail at the end. Just a brief update, I am still in Texas. I'm a new mom to an almost 16-month-old. And child, I'm barely above water these days, but I'm hanging in there, I'm managing, and I feel so blessed. So I'm happy to be back to the brushes, back to hopefully recording more regularly, more consistently, and hopefully sooner than later I'll be able to provide a life update video. But I'm so excited to bring y'all these back. Oh my gosh, you just don't understand. Going in with my MaxLuxe Studio Max Carve 1026 brush, y'all. This is the best seller on my site. This brush is chef's kiss, literally. I'm going in with that shade. Of course, all shades will be listed down in the description box. And I'm highlighting her brow bone first. Y'all know I like to have that brow highlight, and then I'll be blending that all the way down to her lid to act as an eyeshadow base. It's so important that we get a nice melt, so I am gently pressing that concealer into her lids. Y'all know how I do my 1, 2, 3 method. So of course, using that lighter shade will always bring out that brow bone highlight. And then I'll be using the shade closest to her skin tone for the beginning of the brow and the top of the brow. This is to eliminate that halo effect, especially in the beginning, and to help blend seamlessly with her nose contour. I had to put this part in here because it is just so satisfying just to watch the concealer completely just camouflage any type of imperfections or blemishes. I love watching it. And I'm using, of course, the e.l.f. concealers, as well as the Born This Way. I believe I use Born This Way for the top of the brow. Okay, now we're on to foundation, and I'm using the black Opal foundation sticks, of course, for the perimeter of my client's face. Going in with a mixture of NARS Natural Radiant Foundation and a little bit of Maybelline Stay Matte. You guys know I like to mix my foundations so I can customize my clients' shades. Now, I could always use just one foundation, but a lot of the melanated clients especially, we have a lot of high points and dark points, so I like to make sure I give the proper dimension when it comes to foundation shade. And as you guys can see, when I melt it together, once I start blending, it literally just looks so seamless as if I use just one shade. Whenever my clients are wearing high updos, I always make sure I get the ears, I get the neck, I get a little bit behind the neck, because depending on what my client is wearing, I want to make sure that the neck matches the face. So it's important that you get all of those areas that we otherwise wouldn't pay attention to, but it's important to bring that foundation down. You could just tap a little bit on your foundation brush, start at the neck, and then work your way up. still riding so hard with the Real Techniques Instapot brush. Okay, listen, y'all, until I find a better foundation brush that could melt foundation in, or maybe just come out with my own, I'm gonna stick beside it. Definitely gonna stick beside it. Okay, now I'm going in with the MaxLuxe Studios Max Blur Beauty Blender. It is damp, and I'm taking it and I'm just lightly pressing against any shiny areas. Her skin is oily, so I wanted to make sure I paid attention to the areas that were the most shiny, and that definitely did the job. It took it away, kind of almost mattified it, not too much, but just took away the extra shine. Now we're going to go into our highlighting, and again, the shades will be in the description box. I can't think off the top which highlighter I use, but I know when I get to the chin and the top lip and the forehead, I do like to take the shade down a notch. I don't want it to be super bright, especially with deep skin, because it can get ashy or gray real quick. So it's important to pay attention to the highlighted areas of the face and make sure we're not going too bright with the concealer. I did ask her if she wanted a brighter eye, and she said yes. So I just went maybe a shade or two brighter than the original concealer, just to kind of brighten up that inner corner. And now I am using the Juvia's Place foundation sticks in a shade Congo. Don't know if they still sell these, because I know they're promoting a new foundation, but I had to stock up on them when they were on sale for Black Friday. So yeah, I am taking a little bit of the shade on her cheek contour to darken up the nose contour. I did use the shade Katsina, but it was just a little bit too light, so I went ahead and got a little bit of the product off of her cheek contour to kind of deepen up that nose contour. I sprayed her to let that concealer sit. Y'all already know that the longer the concealer sits, the more coverage you get. And now I am using eyeshadow base. I'm using the P. Louise Rumor base for her eyeshadow. I like to put it on before I blend everything out to make sure it's nice and dry. We're going to be using matte shadows today, so I need that eyeshadow base to be a little drier than tacky, which that is the texture that I'm normally going for, but I need it to be dry so those matte shades do not come off patchy, because as y'all saw from the photo, the thumbnail, her entire lid is pretty much in matte, and it's a brighter matte, so we need to make sure that it's completely dry before we add any shadow. Now I'm going ahead and pressing that contour in with the Real Techniques Instapot brush. I think it's a highlighter flat brush, and now I'm using the Real Techniques tapered highlighter brush to blend her under eye concealer. And I'm also bringing that concealer up into her nose contour just to make sure everything is seamless. There's no harsh marks of demarcation. I want to make sure that I blend this until my arms get tired, pretty much. I did start to see some shine poke through, and listen, we're under hot lights and oil going oil. It's just going to do what it's supposed to do. So I picked up a little bit of setting powder and just put it in those spots that I saw were getting a little shiny. I'm now bronzing her up with the Makeup Revolution bronzer. I'm doing that on her nose and her cheek contour. Now I'm picking up the Blush Fantasy palette from MaxLuxe Studios. I am applying this to the high points of her cheekbones to blush her up. I love blush on skin, period, but it hits different when it's on deep skin. It really does. Picking up the MAC Filt'r Loose setting powder in the shade Cafe Latte. I am now baking her nose, and I'm also setting underneath her eye. And y'all, these setting powders drop in March. If you follow me on Instagram, or you follow MaxLuxe Studios on Instagram, y'all know that these powders just do what needs to be done, okay? It always understands the assignment, and I'm so excited to bring you guys these setting powders. These will be dropping in May, so follow MaxLuxe Studios for all updates and release dates. Now I'm blending that setting powder in. Oh, by the way, I'll be coming out with two shades, the Cafe Latte, which you're currently seeing, and the Translucent, which is the Universal No Color Powder. Oh, these shades is just everything. Now I am tight lining with some Inglot gel liner, of course, using the 827 Max Exact brush from MaxLuxe Studios. And we're going ahead and we're going to start on these shadows. So I am using a bronzer actually to deepen up the crease color. I wanted something that wasn't too warm, and sometimes you can get that with bronzers, but with this Makeup Revolution bronzer, it gets the job done every single time. Now I'm going back in with a shade from the Signature Drip palette from MaxLuxe Studios, and now I'm warming up that brown shade that we put on originally. Now the fun part, time to cut the crease. I'm using the Max Carve 1026 brush, and I'm taking my time. I'm also using the P. Louise Rumor Base in the shade 0.5. And as you guys like to see, I like to stamp my cut crease first, and then I'll pull down, and then I'll start to fill it in. This is in real time. I did not slow this down or speed this up. I just like to take my time. Believe it or not, no matter how many, I probably did over 20,000 cut creases. Maybe not that much, but I've done a ton of cut creases, and still I struggle with it. You know, here, that's a real transparent moment for me. I still struggle with cut creases. No matter how neat they come out, it's still something that I have to hold my breath with. Of course, there are easier ways to execute a cut crease. I could always use a super thin brush to draw it out and then fill it in, or I could use the Vaseline method, you know, where you take away the shape that you want. But for me, I like to just do it the original old school way. I feel more comfortable that way. So even though it takes me a little bit of time, I still end up getting the shape that I want. And she has the lid space to provide exactly the shape that I need. So it works. It works. I am going really thin on the outer corner because I'm going to be extending that out with the wing liner. So I want to make sure I draw that shape already, so I don't have to do anything extra once the eyeshadow base starts to dry down. Y'all, I gotta work on some new background music, so if you could give me any suggestions in the comments, I would appreciate it. Something that is copyright free and I'm able to use, and maybe I don't mind tagging them, but I'm sorry, y'all, just bear with me, okay? We working, we back working, so I'm gonna get it together. What I like about the Rumor Base is that, just like a lot of other liquid makeup products, it's heat reactive, right? So the second it starts touching our client's face, it already does its job. So I'm already winning half the battle. I do still go back in with a clean eyeshadow brush to make sure I am taking away any excess product on my client's lids to ensure that the matte shadows are not splotchy or patchy. Or streaky. So it's important that you still do that, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. You want to use a brush that's a little rounded on the end so you don't go over the cut crease, because after that, it's just, you got a headache after that. Now I'm using the two shades from the Signature Drip palette, Bare and Brulee, and I mixed them together to kind of create this beige type of shadow color. Never be afraid to mix your eyeshadow colors. And I am patting that shadow up there. I'm also picking it up the same way I'm applying it to my client's lid. That's so important, because sometimes you can get streaks and lines in your matte shadows if you just dig into a shadow pot and then apply it to your client's lid, because that eyeshadow went inside the brush. So it's important to stay, you know, on the tip of that brush. Now I'm using the Max Hold Lash and Glitter Glue from MaxLuxe Studios, and everything is going to be renewed and restocked in March. We're coming out with new bottles. I'm so excited, looking more professional. I'm just really, really excited for the growth of MaxLuxe Studios. So you guys be sure to sign up for email updates at maxluxestudios.com to see when the release of these and other new products will be out. Now I'm using the P. Louise color eyeshadow base, and again, it will be in the description box, but I am creating a double liner. I'll be using the dark pink, and then I'll be going in with a lighter pink, which you really can't see on camera, but in person it shows up. But I'm taking my time. I'm using a regular liner brush from one of the colored liners that I got from Amazon. I don't really like the formula, so I do like the brush though. It's long and it's steady, and so I'm able to create a neater line with that. So I'm not using the product at all. I'm actually using the P. Louise color bases. And I then went ahead and put some more adhesive on just to make sure that those liners did not crack. Now I'm using, of course, Sephora Precision eyeliner to draw out my client's wing line. She wanted to have a glitter liner, so initially I started off with a really thin line, but then I realized like you're not going to be able to see the glitter if the line is too thin. So you'll see me going back in to thicken up that liner, because you want the glitter to show. Obviously you don't want it to not show. That's what's the point of putting the glitter. So you'll see me kind of playing with it just to get the perfect width. Going in with the Max Hold adhesive, I am putting it directly on the wing liner because that's where we're going to be applying the glitter. And I'm using the Nightlife glitter from MaxLuxe Studios, which is a black holographic glitter. So it gives that little bit of shine, almost like an iridescent behind the black. It looks really, really cool. So for a little razzle dazzle, we did add some rhinestones to the inner corner as well as the outer corner on the tip of the wing. Just a little bit of, you know, a little bit of something. I did clean off my client's lips, of course. You never want to put lipstick on top of old product that's just sitting on the client's face. For me, you get a long-lasting lip when you start with a clean lip. And I did blend out whatever residual product I had on my brush. I kind of just used that to blend it out. Applying her lashes. I'm trying to think, what eyeliner did I use? I believed I used the Night Moth. Was it Night Moth from MAC? It'll be listed down below. I tried to remember for you guys. I'm sorry. And yeah. So of course you guys know I use the glitter, the glue first, and then I let that get tacky, and then I apply the lid. This is a easy peasy lemon squeezy way to get your client's lashes on her lids. I'm telling you, whether her eyes are super sensitive or not sensitive or in the middle, you will get them lashes on and they will be secure, especially when you're using Max Hold. Oh my goodness, they will be secure. I'm using the Jacole lipstick from MaxLuxe Studios, Liquid Lippy rather. This is a discontinued shade. Unfortunately, I'm working on getting new lippies to the site. I'm just, you know, I'm trying to work through the bad ones. So I want to bring a color back similar to that because I love when you put the gloss on, how it kind of just melts and it gives almost like a darker shade. So I like that a lot. It's like the perfect nude for her skin tone. I am now using the TooFaced powder to blend everything in, and you guys, look at her skin. Like, my God, she's just gorgeous, period. But my goodness. I put a little bit of the nude shade from the Signature Drip palette in the inner corner, and now I'm spraying her. And yeah, guys, it's all complete. We are all done. I hope I didn't leave anything out. You guys know I like to press that setting powder in for a long-lasting look on my client. This was for Valentine's Day, actually. So, yeah. She looked really good. She chose this eye. I didn't choose it. And I think it fit her really, really well, especially because she had the lid space to do so. I did go back and reapply some blush because I just wanted, you know, it's Valentine's Day. You want to look blushy and flirty. So it's important that we put some blush, a little bit of extra blush. And I'm using the Grand Prize highlighter from MaxLuxe Studios on the nose and forehead. And I'm just blending everything in. And you guys, we are complete. Thank y'all so much for sticking with me. I know it's been 10 long months, but I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one. Thank y'all again. Bye.